Hello my friends, once again I am here with another video, and basically I'm here to talk about a certain comment that I didn't receive, but found on a video that I was watching of top 10 facts about Freddy Fazbear. I won't link it because I'm a lazy sack of shit, but basically here it is. And then someone decided to reply to him, and then now what I think about these two comments is something I really reflect on about this whole entire fandom that I have associated myself with. I'm not the type of person to usually associate myself with a fandom. I'm assuming just because I'm a fan of the game, or the source material, or the main concept makes me a fan, or makes me a part of the fandom. Now, basically, I feel like if you're a fan, you can have your own interpretation of anything. You can give your own interpretation of anything about the game, as long as it derives from the source material. And I feel like there's a part of it which is part of the source material, or getting it from the source material. Basically, the pictures that I show on the DeviantArt spotlights, which I feel like there may be some that I may be a little bit tipsy with, but at the main core, those are other people's representations. Now, there are some pictures that are better than other pictures in some ways. For example, this photo is better than this photo. And in some ways, in some certain ways, not in detail, but in basically it trying to get at from the source material. Um, and I'm not totally against the idea of changing a few things. I'm not saying you should only have this and this and this. You can't change anything. You can't fucking change anything, because that's what your own interpretation does. It changes a few things. So if you're, for example, a fan fiction, there's two ways you can look at a certain fan fiction. If basically you say, if you say, I want these two a part of this series together, you can have that. You can do that in a certain way. If you have a building up storyline of your own, you can change the whole entire aspect of the game if you actually put your heart and fucking soul into it and make this whole entire storyline of greatness, but just blatantly making one, well, maybe half a fucking page and having totally no build up and just getting right to the point of that. I don't feel like that really is the best way to interpret it, if you know what I mean. And this isn't just Five Nights at Freddy's fandom. I'm talking about this in general for each fandom. You can have your own interpretation of anything, but just blatantly making something that is an interpretation, but isn't exactly talking about the main fucking source. I guess it's really weird. If you can execute it right, then, and if you can execute it in a way that is kind of going away from the source material, but still having some validity to it, or validation to it, or whatever how the fuck you say it, that's alright. But it's really hard for me to say in some ways, because I fucking ask. Basically, if you do enjoy what the second comment said, basically love the fucking, basically, I see. I get like once I get caught in something, I just am stuck for a minute or two. I'm not gonna fucking cut this out of the video because because I'm lazy sack of shit. Though I was, it's not. That's away from the fucking point. I feel like this fandom, this specific fandom, of course, when I fucking start a video, I hear things. This specific fandom, most of them have gotten away from the source material. And I've actually made a reply to this comment. I'll put it up on the screen now. Yes. I'm saying that I can see where this guy is coming from, and I doubt that half the people that actually know about this haven't even played the game. They just heard about the storyline, they heard about the characters, they've seen the characters, and just derived it off of that. Now, I played, no, not the PC version, because I'm too lazy to get a fucking Steam account. I played it off my phone. I mean, if that counts, I mean, it's still the game, but really, and I still stick with it. I doubt half of the people that are part of this family actually have played the game, and if they have, then, and they still make these things, it's their own pleasurable thing. You know, it's their own thing. Now, let's get to this topic of fan art, or, well, basically it is fan interpretation. I feel like something that is not from the source material, and it's just for your own pleasure, I would not count as fan art. And even if a lot of people share this enjoyment with you, I would still not call it fan art. I would call it your own personal take on it. But what I call fan art is someone that looks at this and fucking makes their own interpretation of it, even if it's not the best. It's still deriving from the fucking source material, and they're still making it from what they've enjoyed from the aspect. Basically, if you make your own interpretation, and it's not anything really from the game or from the source material, I wouldn't count that as fan art. I'd count that as your own interpretation, and you have all the rights to fucking have your own interpretation, but I would not call it fan art. Now, some things I might be a bit hypocritical because I do upload certain things on this channel. And I said before that you can have your own interpretation, and it could possibly count as fan art or fan fiction if you've actually put effort to it, into making the storyline and into making individual characters with their own individual characteristics. If you have the same characteristics as from the fucking game, and hell, you can even make new characteristics. It may be fucking throwing further away from the fucking actual main source. And there is going to be a point if you make these characters way weird, like, away from the main fucking character. If you throw it fucking far enough, then you can like fucking get out of it and get out of the fucking field of it, and some people won't even understand, like, oh, this is supposed to be this character. I don't understand. And I understand with this certain game, with Five Nights at Freddy's, the characters are really, really, really vague. Really vague. You don't have anything. So basically making the field more bigger. So it's really rare that someone gets way off the fucking thing. And I would say that a bit about something that I've ironically uploaded this. I would say that about the Five Nights at Freddy fantasy RPG. Now, the actual comics they derive from, this is basically a spin-off of a spin-off. Basically, these things I don't understand why, like, or how they come from the source material.